Agatha All Along was one of the most deadly shows in the MCU as far as the primary characters go, but upon looking back at the series, I think one character was never supposed to die. With Agatha All Along continuing the legacy of Wanda Maximoff after her death, it's incredible to see how her old friend Secret Witch, Agatha, has been doing. Agatha's journey on the road, and the companionship of a small coven was an incredible insight to the character, and I can hold my hands up and admit that the ending really blew me away. However, while I had already guessed Agatha would die, considering her character in the comics frequently appearing as a ghost and this being a natural progression for her redemption arc, I was taken aback at the many other deaths in the series. The Witch's Road is nothing if not incredibly dangerous for the witches that travel along it, but when the truth was revealed about the road, and Billy Maximoff's reality-bending powers, it redefined many moments throughout the rest of Agatha All Along. The Agatha All Along finale revealed The Witch's Road was a con. The Witch's Road was a work of fiction. While the road itself was shown to not be the real deal, the final episode of Agatha All Along explored the true origin of the ballad and the legend of the road. As it turns out, Agatha and her son, Nicholas Scratch, made up the tune as a way to sing and relax on their walks down windy roads. But, as they refined the ballad, they found it was a perfect tune to sing to local witches and convince them of a mysterious road that leads to a great treasure. After Nicholas' death, his song lived on as witches spread stories of the legendary road, and Agatha Harkis, the only survivor to ever make the trek. However, this was all a facade, used by Agatha to lure the witches into a secluded spot, ridicule them for summoning the road wrong, and then absorb their powers when they attempted to attack her. And considering Agatha's age and power, by the time WandaVision came around, she was able to use this legend very successfully. Agatha never intended for Sharon Davis to die. Sharon Davis was supposed to survive the Witch's Road. When I rewatched Agatha All Along Episode 2, where the witches are assembled, and they summon the road together, it stood out that Agatha dragged Sharon Davis, aka Mrs. Hart, along for the ride considering she was a mortal. But looking at Agatha's face, and seeing her attempt to ridicule the other witches after they sing the ballad, it's clear she planned to do the same thing to them as she had to countless witches before. But Sharon Davis couldn't have done anything to stop her, nor could she lash out with magic, which would have meant she survived the horrific ordeal. The thing is, Sharon has lived through a crisis with a witch before. While under the spell of the Scarlet Witch, Sharon had front row seats as the boss's wife, even entering the home of Wanda and Vision while under Wanda's spell. Her husband died, and she saw the terrifying battle between Wanda and Agatha, so the truth is likely that she was no fan of witches. This could have been triggering and traumatizing for the elderly woman, but it's unlikely to have killed her, and it seems like that was Agatha's plan all along. Sharon Davis's death hurts more knowing Agatha never planned to kill her. Agatha had a different plan all along. If Sharon was never meant to die, and Agatha intended to simply use her as part of the charade, as she is prone to do, it makes it so much worse that she was the first to go. Not only did she die through the proxy of Billy's powers as Wiccan, but she died a needless death. She wasn't a green witch, and she had no depth of knowledge about magic. But despite being the survivor of the tragedies in Westview, she was dragged along on another fairytale ride, and killed off by the end of the first trial. She was also subject to being part of 2 spells by the Maximoff family, with both of them putting her into perilous situations that picked off her husband, and then her. While Agatha may be a more clear-cut and dry villain, the horrors and suffering that Sharon faced could have been avoided completely. Yes, Agatha dragged her along unwittingly, but she could have lived a happy and peaceful life if it weren't for the twisted truth in Agatha All Along. Agatha lied, and Billy believed.